Sometimes the biggest stories come from the smallest places. Today, we're diving into one of those. It's about a tiny island at the very bottom of the world that holds this colossal secret about where we've been as a species and maybe, more importantly, where we're headed. We're looking at Tasmania, not just as a place on a map, but as this living laboratory for two completely different ways of being human. One is ancient, incredibly resilient, and the other, well, it's modern and it's accelerating at a truly dizzying speed. And this whole story really brings us to the central paradox of our time, something you've probably felt yourself. On one hand, we have powers that would seem absolutely godlike to our ancestors. We can abolish darkness with a flick of a switch, speak to anyone on the planet instantly, and pull up all of human knowledge from a little glowing rectangle in our hand. And yet, there's this nagging feeling of fragility, right? As if this whole incredible system we depend on is balanced on a knife's edge. Okay, so let's really get into this. On one side of the equation, you have the Palawa, the Aboriginal people of Tasmania. They represent an unbroken line of human resilience stretching back 65,000 years. Just let that number sink in. And on the other side? Well, that's us. The last 200 years, the most condensed, insane period of technological change in all of history, which has created this web of dependencies we literally can't imagine living without. And Tasmania? It's the one place on Earth where these two timelines really collide. So the first huge insight this reveals is how we understand something so basic, so fundamental, we don't even think about it: time itself. See, we think of time as this constant, but for most of human history, it was anything but. It didn't tick, it breathed. For our ancestors, an hour wasn't 60 minutes. No way. It was simply 1/12 of the daylight available on any given day. Now, what does that mean? It means in the long summer months, the hours were long and expansive, and in the dead of winter, they were short and compressed. Human life, work, rest, everything was completely synchronized with the natural rhythms of the planet. And get this slide shows just how deeply this idea was embedded. We even built our early technology to serve this natural rhythm. This clock in Moscow didn't try to force a standard 12-hour cycle onto a 17-hour day. Nope, it adapted. The machine was designed to be subservient to the sun, not the other way around. It's a totally different mindset. Now, contrast that with our world today. We live by the relentless, unbreathing, unforgiving tick of the atomic clock. An hour is an hour, whether it's in Tasmania or Tokyo, summer or winter. We've achieved incredible efficiency for sure, but we've done it by severing our connection to the cosmos. The sun still rules the sky, but it definitely no longer rules our schedules. And this shift to standardized, ticking time, it perfectly maps onto this mind-bending acceleration in everything else. Just look at how quickly we adopt new realities. The telephone? It took over 75 years to become a common household thing. The smartphone? 5 years. And the latest AI models became a part of our global conversation in just 2. Our window for adaptation, for just getting used to things, it's shrinking to almost nothing. So that brings us to our second key insight, and you can see how this builds. This acceleration hasn't just changed how we see time, it's completely re-engineered how we survive. It's forced this massive trade-off between individual readiness and collective reliance. You see, the Pilawala didn't mark adulthood with a birthday. It wasn't about turning 18 or 21. It was a state of being you actually had to earn. Adulthood was all about readiness, proving through real trials of skill, endurance, and knowledge that you were truly capable of sustaining yourself and contributing to the group. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the difference. It wasn't about some external rule telling you you're a grown-up now. It was a deep internal understanding. You didn't become an adult when a government told you so. You became an adult when you knew and had proven that you were ready for that responsibility. Our model today is, well, it's a little different. Biologically speaking, we humans are tropical animals. We are not built for cold climates. The only reason we can survive in places like England or even Tasmania is because we outsource our survival. We don't grow thick fur, we crank up the central heating. We don't hibernate, we rely on global supply chains to bring us strawberries in January. We've essentially hacked the planet with our technology. The result is that our entire civilization now rests on this incredibly complex and, honestly, fragile stack of technologies. Electricity, GPS, antibiotics, the internet, almost everything that keeps our world running didn't even exist just a few generations ago. Each one is a layer of assumption, and we've almost completely forgotten how to live without any of them. This quote really just nails the heart of the trade-off, doesn't it? We've gained immense efficiency and convenience, there's no doubt about it. But in the process, we've given up that personal robustness, that broad individual capability that defined human survival for literally millennia. We're incredibly powerful as a group, but we're profoundly helpless as individuals if the lights go out. And hey, there are real, measurable costs to this new way of life. Look at this. In the year 2000, our average attention span was about 12 seconds. Today, it's just over 8 seconds. And for a little bit of fun context, the average attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. Yeah, you heard that right. We have outsourced our memory to our phones, and our ability to focus has clearly paid the price. So, all of this brings us right to this moment, to right now, because we are living through another one of these great phase shifts in consciousness. A moment where our technology is poised to once again completely redefine what it even means to be human. I mean, think about it. Once humanity mastered fire, a world without controlled heat and light became basically unthinkable. Once we had the smartphone, a world without instant connection and all of information in your pocket became totally alien. See, these aren't just tools. They are reality-warping inventions that create a one-way door in history. You can never truly go back. And that leads us to the final, absolutely critical question this whole explainer has been building towards. As we stand right here on the cusp of truly powerful AI and even deeper technological integration into our lives, what's the next big trade-off? What essential part of ourselves? Our skills? Maybe our very consciousness? Are we preparing to outsource for the sake of more convenience and more power? You know, we started this whole journey by unhitching our lives from the sun and the seasons. We literally divorced ourselves from the cosmos. So the question we're left with is a profound one. Having done that, what have we bound ourselves to instead? The screen, the network, the algorithm? That right there is the question that is going to define our future.